Sky. I've known Sky since he was a baby. Or cheer up. For a special citizenship award for exceptional citizenship in your participation in the Election Advisory Committee. Okay? Apparently Sky has come to the meetings and been very patient and works hard so that his dad can do the work that he needs to do on the committee. Our Patriot Award started in 2004, and most of you may know that in 2004 the first annual Patriot Award went to the library staff of Humboldt County because of their proactive work in countering the Patriot Act before it was even finished. And before the rules came down about what libraries had to do in keeping track of the information about what books people checked out, the library took it upon themselves to shred records and do things like that so that it wasn't as big of an invasion on people's constitutional rights as it otherwise would have been. In 2005, the Human Rights Commission received the award for their resolutions and the supervisorial resolutions that were passed in terms of the marriage, right to marry, and also the work that they did on the Coalition for Police Review and other things that the Human Rights Commission was doing in regards to civil liberties. Yay, the Human Rights Commission. Last year, 2006, we decided to not award it to a county body, but instead Jack Nounan was the recipient, and that was for his extensive work that he does as an activist and his nonviolent mantra that he regularly preaches to all of us. So Jack Nounan was last year's recipient. This year's recipient, we are very pleased to present to Carolyn Crnich and the Election Advisory Committee the 2007 Patriot Award. So Carolyn, if you want to come up, as well as the other members of the Election Committee that are here, Greg Allen, Dave Berman, Kevin Collins, Mark Hunkler, Jim Lamport, David Ogden, Jamie Orr, and Tom Pinto. So the first thing, and Carolyn, I will give you a chance to speak, but I want to first provide you this award, which I hope you will display proudly and prominently.
I will indeed, thank you.
And Greg, if you want to come up and say a few words about the committee before Carolyn speaks, and hand the certificates to your other fellow committee members, and then we'll give an opportunity for Carolyn to respond.
Well, it's been really nice working on this committee. That one of the things that we've really had is it has been as completely nonpartisan as anything I could imagine. That the only axe anybody has to grind is to try to make sure that we have honest and verifiable elections. And personally, it has been really an honor and a privilege to serve with everybody. That I think that one of the things that we're working on, and I'd like folks to know about it, I'm really excited about it, and I think it is the way of the future, is that we're working on a thing called the Transparency Project, which will allow people to see images of every ballot made, every ballot that is cast, and verify them and count them themselves. And I think this is going to be a trend that we're probably going to see, hopefully, all over the country and maybe even all over the world soon. And so it's been amazing to be doing this, and for everyone that I've been working with. Gosh, I mean, I've really been me personally, I've been a minor player on this committee, but the folks have done. Everybody has worked really hard, and I think worked to really try to look at the big issue. It really is above, I think, partisan politics in any way, and you know, I think it's a great thing, and personally, it's great to see that some folks have been noticing what we've been trying to do. And so, anyway, thank you.
actually something else I'm supposed to be giving you. And I will perhaps read the resolution as I give it to you as well. Except I can't because I just gave you all my copies. Whereas the conduct of fair and free elections which use electoral mechanisms designed to accurately reflect the will of the voters form the basis of individual liberty through citizen control of their democratic institutions of governance. And whereas voting security and election integrity have come under increasing threat nationwide from the use of electronic voting systems which lack adequate safeguards and electoral mechanisms that compromise the ability to share in the exercise of political power. And whereas the Humboldt County Election Advisory Committee was proposed by County Clerk and Recorder Carolyn Crnich and approved by County Supervisors in 2005 with a mission to provide public input and review of local voting systems, electoral mechanisms, and conditions under which elections take place in Humboldt County. And whereas, since its formation, the Election Advisory Committee, whose members include Greg Allen, Dave Berman, Kevin Collins, Mark Conkler, Jim Lamport, David Ogden, Jamie Orr, and Tom Pinto, worked with Carolyn Crnich, Elections Department staff, and concerned community groups to defeat the mass implementation of unverifiable voting machines in local election precincts, a decision which has since proven correct after the mass decertification of unsafe voting equipment in 2007 by California Secretary of State Deborah Bowen. And whereas Election Advisory Committee members also advocated successfully for the rights of disabled voters and for an innovative new means of vote verification known as the Humboldt Transparency Project, where the ballot image of each vote cast is preserved to enable independent citizen recounts of voting results. And whereas Clerk and Recorder Carolyn Crnich has repeatedly demonstrated an open and accountable attitude towards the public and has expressed her willingness to implement alternative voting systems if and when they are adopted by local governments for local elections. Therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Directors of the Redwood Chapter, American Civil Liberties Union, awards the 4th Annual Patriot Award to Carolyn Crnich and the Election Advisory Committee for their continued commitment and action to protect the constitutional rights and civil liberties of the people of Humboldt County in accordance with the Bill of Rights.
This is beautiful. Well, I'll let you guys touch it a little bit. Well, actually, I got to tell you that at our last meeting, we kind of had a discussion about that and decided I'd stay at my house for a couple of weeks and then. Well, no, we'll see. Well, actually, I think I'm going to keep it in my office. A collection of glass things there. This is really an honor for me and for this committee to think that the work that these people have been doing for the last few years on behalf of all of the voters, and I don't think